Hello and welcome to everyone. Our guest today is MMA fighter Joe Giannetti. Joe, thank you so much for accepting this call. And can you please say a few words about yourself for the introduction, and we can continue with the interview. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime. Joe Giannetti, Ultimate Fighter finalist, and just having a good time. Just trying to get back in the UFC and get some wins.
Thank you so much for accepting. When did you start training? When did you start training MMA?
When I was 17.
So, how would you describe your fighting style? Do you have a basic martial art? Do you have something that features you in the world of mixed martial arts?
I'm just like an all-around mixed martial artist, honestly. I started out wrestling in high school, and I wasn't the best at it, but it started to click more and more when I started training MMA. And I just kind of got into MMA and did everything at once. I did wrestling, and then I started jiu-jitsu, and then kickboxing, and then doing it all. So I'm very well-rounded. I don't think there's really much that stands out in one asset. Maybe my jiu-jitsu. I just think my jiu-jitsu in MMA is a lot better than some of these guys that are better in gi or no gi. My MMA jiu-jitsu is just light years ahead.
Outstanding. What can you say? Have you chosen a nickname, or you're still Joe Giannetti?
Skeletor. Skeletor has been my go-to nickname.
So, what does Skeletor mean, actually?
So it's a cartoon from the 80s, and basically when I cut weight, I'm just so sucked out, my face kind of looks like Skeletor. So my buddies were messing with me, and that's just what it ended up being.
Oh, looks great, really. One of the most original nicknames. I think Chris McKee has the same nickname, I think, the Irish fighter. I think he has the same. Who are your coaches at the moment?
Bill Mahoney and Justin Burrell.
So, what can you say about your first amateur fight? How did you feel it?
My first amateur fight, I was super nervous, but at the same time, just excited to finally be fighting. I've wanted to fight for a while prior to that, and I tried to go in there and just do what my coaches said, and it didn't work out like that. I didn't listen too well, but I got the win. It was kind of a war until I got a submission with about 10 seconds left, but it was a really cool experience.
Yeah, outstanding. So, who was your toughest amateur opponent?
My toughest amateur opponent would be, I fought Jose Rivera. I fought him twice. So the first time we fought, I choked him out in the second round. But when I shot into an uppercut, and he swelled my eye shut. So I ended up finishing him, and then we rematched in my last amateur fight, and I beat him by unanimous decision. It was just a lot of takedowns and ground and pound. But when we were on the feet, he was beating the hell out of me.
Outstanding. What can you say about your first professional fight?
My first pro fight was really cool because it was kind of like I knew this was the start, like the real start of my path to the UFC. And I kind of put a beating on the guy. I got a submission early in the first, and it was just in and out, just the way I like it.
How did you defeat? You choked out Alex Dolan. Well, this was pretty much nasty choke. How did you secure it?
The Alex Dolan fight I was on his back, and then I fell off his back and got a triangle, and then the triangle I switched to an armbar. That kind of was honestly like my go-to move my first couple of pro fights. I won my first pro fight the same way. It's just something that always came naturally to me.
Excellent. Do you have a trademark move, actually?
I wouldn't really say a trademark move. I mean, I get Darces a lot. It's just a move that I have long arms, so it goes with me, but it's just something that I've been able to adapt and kind of make my own. I hit them from really weird places, and guys that know it's coming, I still tap out with it.
Excellent. So, how did you defeat Jay Ellis? Jay Ellis is a serious name.
Jay is the same thing. I got a rear naked choke. I went for an armbar on him. He picked me up and tried to slam me. We got into a quick scramble, and then I actually got the rear naked choke with no hooks. And he tapped. I think might have been the second round or late in the first. I forget. But he's beaten some serious guys, some guys that are still in the UFC. So that was a really good win.
What can you say about your two fights against Raymond? Raymond, you fought him 2 times, you won him both times. So what can you say about him as the opponent, about the fights?
He's a really tough kid. His judo isn't to be messed with. He's really, really good on the ground. And it was really good for me fighting him twice because if you watch the fights, I win in 2 totally different ways. The first one, I was kind of laid back and letting him do his thing and then eventually locking up my choke. And in the second one, he was trying to throw me and use his judo, but I was able to stop it in the clinch and able to move him around. I was just so much stronger. My wrestling was better since the first time we'd fought. And then I eventually got the TKO due to body shots.
So about TUF 27, it was, well, we can say the greatest success of your career, right? You had 3 fights, right?
I had two. Yeah, I had two in the house, and then I had the finale.
So, are you pleased with the performance? How did it go? How was the organization? How did you feel?
I mean, I was pleased with the two performances in the house. The finale, not so much. It was really probably my worst performance to date. Um, but the first two before that, I felt great. Just doing a lot of things that I've been working for years, and got to show them on the national level. It was really cool. But the organization was great. Tough was cool. Show was cool. UFC was amazing. Everything was awesome.
So technically Mike Trizano defeated you in the finals, right? But you secured 2 dominant wins before him, or?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What can you say about draw against Josh Harvey? I mean, draws are always controversial. What do you think about draws? What do you think about that fight?
I mean, I thought that fight. I mean, people say it's controversial, but it's one of those things where it's a fight, and he kind of got hosed on a. I don't think he got hosed on a decision, but he didn't get the decision he wanted because of how he fought. I mean, he didn't do anything. He laid in my guard, and I was striking him from my back, and then in the third, I knocked him out and woke him back up. I landed over 60 shots. At one point, I hit him, and he goes limp, and then I hit him again, and he wakes up. And so I thought they were going to stop the fight, and they didn't. So it's one of those things where it's like you can complain about the decision, but I could complain that they should have stopped the fight. So it is what it is. I mean, it would have been cool if they stopped it, and I could have TKO'd him. But yeah.
Bran Warrior, your last opponent, he was also my guest, and he was discussing about the fight. He said that you really gave him a hard time. So what do you think about that fight? I watched the whole fight, and to me it was one of very entertaining fights. I would rate it that way. What do you think about it?
I'm glad you enjoyed it. A lot of people did, oddly enough. It wasn't a super active fight. I mean, Bran, he implemented his game plan. He got on top, and he held me down. It's not really the way that I like to fight. It's not really the way people like to watch people fight. But he apologized to me, like many of my opponents have, as soon as the fight ended. Like, oh, sorry, I had to fight like that. At the end of the day, we're fighters. We're trying to get a paycheck, and we're trying to get W's. He did what he did. But it's one of those things where I showed a lot of improvement in that fight, made a lot of gains. And, I feel like I'm just about there, and I'm going to get a little bit stronger, keep getting stronger, keep getting better, and I think my next fight won't go anything like that. I'll come out with the W.
Many people praise LFA. You fought at TUF, you fought at LFA, so we can say that you have pretty much solid experience. What are your thoughts about LFA? I mean, you saw other promotions, and what do you think about LFA as a promotion?
LFA was like a mini UFC. I mean, it's run exactly the same. It's on Fight Pass the same. The octagon's the same. Everybody there treats you like you're a UFC fighter, like you're a rock star. It was a really cool experience. Everything ran smoothly. It was a really, really cool experience. I'm glad I got to do it. I'm looking forward to fighting there again.
That's outstanding. What are your future plans? Do you want to stay at LFA for now, or you're fishing for something better at the moment?
I would love to stay at LFA. Keep fighting for LFA, get back in the UFC, and take the UFC over.
Yeah, it would be really, really fun. So, do you have somebody in your sights for potential next fight, or you're comfortable with whoever you get?
I'm comfortable with whoever I get. I mean, at this point, we all know what they're all going to do. They're all going to try and take me down, and they're all going to try and just lay on me. They're going to say they're going to knock me out. They're going to say they're going to choke me out. They're going to beat me up, but they won't. They're all going to try and take me down and lay on me. So my goal is to make sure that doesn't happen and finish these guys.
Alright, I've seen that your stand-up skills are pretty much awesome, and that's true, that's absolutely true. So it's one of the reasons why people believe your fights are very much entertaining from what I could have seen. Would you like to add something to this interview? Maybe you would like to greet sponsors, or...
Thank you for having me on first and foremost. Thank you everybody at South Shore Sport Fighting, LFA for giving me that opportunity in my last fight. I'm looking forward to fighting for you guys again. And Reset for CBD, Cruise Combat makes my fight shorts. They make phenomenal fight shorts. On it for all my supplements, get me through camp healthy. Sweet Sweat helping me make the weight. Cutting weight's never fun, but they make it a little bit easier, and I appreciate it all.
Thank you so much. I will now start creating the video, and thank you for showing understanding. This is actually the first time my web camera disconnected, but I mean, I could have restarted the PC, but thank you so much. I mean, fighter's face is the most important, so...
No worries at all. Thank you for having me, bro.
Alright, no problem. Thank you and have a great day.
You too.
Goodbye.